Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you a bit of discussion about the direction that Valorant seems to be going, or lack thereof. Well, lack of my understanding of it, I guess, because there's some things that leave me a bit confused. In 12.05, just came out, we got Mix, who is another healer, and has the unique ability to heal across the map. If you have a lineup for Impulse, you chuck it across the map, heal some teammates over there. And Mix, in my opinion, is a bit too balanced. Like, there's a bit too much counterplay for, I guess, specifically Impulse. Yeah, I think specifically Impulse is where I want to land that at. Because Impulse, it does two things, right? For ranked, yada yada yada, and we'll talk about that too. But for ranked, fine. Like, alright, now you just know as the opponent what is going on and where it's going on. Because if they hear the damn impulse going off at the softer tone, they know that somebody's getting healed in approximately the location that you can hear the sound coming from, which is one bit of game balance, design intention, right? You shouldn't just, well, uh, we'll actually get to that, but the idea is that if you can have the possibility of healing several people at once, right? The counterplay, like to make it fair for the enemy, is that there should be some indicator of where it is. But not only is there an indicator of where it is, it can be destroyed. It can be stopped. So there's two instances there that I don't think you need to have both. And then go into the concuss while we're on impulse, it's the same thing where your opponent knows where an impulse is going off and can get out of it and can destroy it. Um, so there's just a bit too much counterplay on impulse specifically, in my opinion. But coming back to the fact of having a heal, uh, you would think, or at least what I was thinking, is that Valorant is doing a vitality pass, a health update. Not in the traditional sense of health updates being where you put out a patch that focuses on the health of the game, meaning bugs, bug fixes, things like that. No, literal health, effective hit point values, where you have another healer, and in this you also made a slight change to Sage, who's going through it right now, or apparently lack thereof. Now that Mix is here to help heal people. Uh, so you're showing this, all right, healers focus. And in the same patch, right? Not only does Sage get a little targeting better thingy majig, um, you also have Sky, who, while everybody is focused on the next part, which is down here, Sky has guiding light, which is now going to receive its cooldown again, which in my opinion it should have never left, but can come back because they nerfed Yoru. So it's like, we nerfed Yoru. People are like, it needs flashes, so here's a flash. And here's my thing with that for a quick second, right? The flash is good on Yoru because it can be popped, it can be bounced off of places, it can be chucked down long. The only other flash that does that is KO, and well, I don't see us making KO's flash rechargeable, but I'll take Sky because it should have been like this. It should have never not been like this. But Sky, as you know, has a heal that can also be a group heal. However, Sky's heal is balanced by the fact that you have a finite bar of it. Um, Now, you have a finite amount of impulses, but you can only heal so much within the area with you. You can get everybody back up to full with one impulse theoretically, right? If all of you just survive on one impulse does the same amount of healing, as far as I understand it, right there. So, with a focus on healer, 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 it would seem like Riot wants Valorant to do more living, increase the time alive, but not the time to kill, so that's tricky, right? Um, because like, okay, let's go. There's heals, right? That means that you can get to the next combat from another, especially when there's less utility in the game to take you out. As we know, they've been talking about wanting to focus on gunplay. So, that's the other thing of this. If they're focusing on gunplay, and we have healers, you would think that you are playing a game in which you can't get one shot. But we are. Um, we're playing a game where a quick tap to the head means you're done. A quick tap with an op means you're done. And the op's little brother with another mechanic that would incentivize you living. They also brought in regen shields. Now, I didn't bring up that patch note for here because that's way back. Alright, but regen shields, alright, goes up to 25, just like light, but you can get that back if you live on to see the next combat. So that makes sense, right? Alright, you didn't get one tap, you survive for the next one. However, the regen shield also has a hard counter in the fact that they've introduced the operator's little brother, the outlaw. Which, if you have 25, if you have anything less than heavy, right? Well, okay, I guess like if your heavy is damaged to like 30, it still works, right? But if you're using regen or light or nothing, uh, it takes you out in one shot. So not only are we playing a game where headshots take you out, the operator takes you out, but now the outlaw takes you out. But yeah, we're adding mechanics to keep you alive because theoretically, right? I did talk about this. They needed to. They did need another healer in the grand scheme of things to make it more new player friendly. However, however, the problem becomes where I think that mix is too complicated for new players. And then the next two patches that have, well, not next two, further back previous, the next patches I'm going to talk about here introduce things that are nerfs to surviving again. So it's confusing where they want this to go. Because as you can see, in 02, 12.02, uh, they nerfed Reyna, where the soul orbs are not in the world for as long. I'll lose a second off of that. And the overheal applied by Devour is now temporary and lasts 10 seconds. You still get the permanent heal if you're in Empress, but they also nerfed Empress up a point because Reyna and the other person that got nerfed and also got nerfed in this one again. Let's see, where is it? It's got to be. There we go. Clove. Clove got nerfed back in 11.10. Rouge charges are now restricted to 1 maximum when Clove is dead, and the overheal amount, while Pick Me Up is active, has been reduced from 100 HP to 50 HP. And the duration for the smokes when you're dead is now 6 seconds. Metal, for whatever reason, got nerfed from 6 meters to 4 meters on top of that. So you had two agents that could sustain, self sustain. And you'd say, obviously, they want it to come from the healers. They want to give the healers more of a prevalent role. Don't want you to sustain by yourself. But they also brought in regen shields with the Phoenix rework. Phoenix, notably, has two abilities that can, well, heal you up, and an ability, just like Cloves, to get you a second shot at running at people. Now, I'm not advocating for a Phoenix nerf whatsoever, right? I think it's taken a long time to get Phoenix to be what people would deem playable again, past, well, in my opinion, Phoenix has always been okay, but now the wide majority can agree that Phoenix is okay. But if they don't want sustain, why do we keep adding things like regen shields and now 3 healers in the game? But also, you can't let Reyna, I guess, and Clove dominate ranked. Which brings us back to mix again. So mix, while everybody's having fun trying to see how high they can get the assist number up, doesn't solve the clove issue, and instead might make it worse. Um, for a couple of things. One, yes, people might play mix because now there's a controller that has more things that you can do for your team as well as healing yourself. So pick me up to impulse, fine, right? You only get one pick me up. Here's one impulse that you can use for that, but you also have two of these, right? So there's that. The other problem is that Clove still has the unique aspect of being able to run at people, do it again, and smoke after death, which is why Clove is just significantly better, especially from ranked. Now, talking about the difference from ranked to pro play, because there's the question of will we see mix and pro play? I do think we'll see mix and pro play, and I actually have a guess as to who will do it. Um, but we'll see after everybody at least has a turn at stage one. Like after day one of all the regions, then I'll put it out there who I think might do it or might be good at it. But past that, there's balancing for ranked and balancing for pro play, which has unfortunately always with whatever game that this happens has to be rolled in together because you have to nerf the top end of both of these aspects and figure out how that can not like how that can mitigate while affecting the other. So we don't see pros playing Clove because they don't have to run it down at people because one of their teammates is calling them a slur and the other one is immediately running it down. Hopefully. Well, we don't know what pros are doing on the stage until we get the comms from like the replay or whatever, right? So they could be doing that, but uh, for what we know, that's not happening. So Clove gives you the ability to finally play a role that nobody wanted to play, and they keep nerfing the one agent that they installed in this role instead of what I think they should always do, introduce another good reason to do so. They've attempted that with Mix, but Mix is too safe. You need something almost equally as quote unquote unfair as Clove, while just letting you run it down. Mix, we're getting there. There's some things that I think that Mix can do that might make it so that you can run it down, which is all ranked is now. You've taken away the util, so now everybody's just going to run at each other. And you want it to be about precise gunplay. The average person I've seen, look, Unk myself, right? It's not there, right? It's not there. So all in all, what are we doing here? I guess you didn't want to make a let the Smurf duo of Raina Clove then get a heal from Mix and Sky and Sage and be unstoppable, I guess, but still, nothing changes that. Instead, the agent that people now enjoy playing to fulfill a role is getting punished, and we haven't gone far enough on the new agent because we're scared of what? I don't really know, right? I'm not sure what we're scared of with Mix. Do we not want another Clove? Because instead we get triple duelist, one controller, one initiator maybe, because we have made it so that Sentinel is pretty unfun to play. So people pick Chamber if they're going to pick a Sentinel, maybe Veto, right? Unless you're a one trick or like a specialist, as we've seen with some of the specialist YouTubers, right? Or streamers, content creators, whatever. So instead, if you're not one of those few select people, you're not seeing many Sentinels be played. Uh, you're not seeing many other initiators be played. Like this would be the equivalent of, oh, I don't know, making an initiator that makes it so that people want to play initiator, and then continuously nerfing that initiator while introducing things similar to said initiator. Huh. Yeah, we tend to do that, don't we? So, I don't know. It's kind of a mess. I don't understand what we're doing over here, and I would like for this to stop happening, really, though. I would like just let Clove do Clove things, let Reyna do Reyna things. Do I think that pros are sleeping on either of these agents? Slightly, I guess. Um, but Omen has a flash that is more helpful for executes. Astra has a suck and a stun that's more useful for like playing the game than just having a smoke after death. I don't know. Pros have found ways around it. I don't know. Reyna's case, we've seen Reyna in pro play every now and again. Steel has never been quote unquote meta because other people shoot back. And Reyna has no way to get in besides trying to throw a flash and hoping that people don't shoot it in 0.1 second. So, I don't know. There's that. So, yeah. If you liked the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.